Hello, I'm streaming an hour earlier today because the Queen's going to do sort of a rare televised appearance regarding, I think, urging people to do, sensible stuff with the coronavirus crisis. Because the problem is, again, at the moment, you've got all the people being idiots. And on the subject of people being idiots, it looks like it's going to get worse for everybody that's being responsible, because there might be more restrictions put on what you can go out and do because of all the people taking a piss where they're using the excuse of going out to exercise to not go out and exercise and just sit around doing nothing, or meet up with people. So unfortunately, it looks like soon, you might be even more housebound in the UK because, a very strange comment there. I'll get rid of that person. It sounds like a spam bot. Anyway, but yeah, Joshua, exactly. It's because there's people that are, just basically using the freedoms we've got at the moment to exploit them. And then, like all these things, it gets worse for everybody else because of people who can't follow the rules. Personally, I think they should just throw the book at the people who are really flagrantly violating the rules. Some random dude said, I go out once a day for an exercise, but people are not following the social distancing. It's very unfair and it pisses me off because arseholes aren't following the rules. Yeah, exactly. It's those people that make it worse for everybody else. So why was there randomly one in Canada, young rail enthusiast? But good, you've got one on order. Yeah, I know, Tony. This is the problem. Everybody else is going to suffer because of the people who've just decided that, it's an excuse for a holiday, or I don't want to follow any of the rules because I don't care, Because the thing is, if it was something that was only bad for you and not other people, I don't think most of us would mind as much. Thank you very much, Eltrix. But yeah, the big issue, obviously, is it's a lot of people are endangering other people by doing it, not necessarily themselves. What are they doing in Romania then? Oh, you've got an excuse to paint your 40k, have you, Blake? I suppose it's as good a time as any to do it. Oh, on purpose, Michael, by accident. My coffee is safely in the mug, but some random dude says it was all over the news, and I'm glad people who are not following the rules are getting called out. They only think for themselves, to be honest. Yeah, but the annoying thing is if all of us have to suffer with more restrictions because of the people not following the rules, and then those same people will probably still be out and about and not be punished all that much. Thank you very much, Laserpoint Production. He said, hello, how's it going? Wish everybody the best of luck. Stay safe. Yeah, all right. I was quite ill in the night, but nothing to do with coronavirus. It was just my ulcerative colitis playing up. So, like a lot of stomach pain in the night and like diarrhea, and didn't get much sleep. So I had a big long lay in today. That probably means my body clock's going to be out of whack again. But other than that, I'm all right. All things considered, that's not too bad. That's just stuff I generally get now and again. But RAF Curly says, hey, thank you for everything you do. For us, informing us, we really appreciate what's in military masks that will help protect from the coronavirus. Thank you very much, RF Kelly. Basically, most military gas masks, because nearly all military gas masks, if you use them with a P100, P3, or NBC filter, will provide adequate, filtration for particulates. But from what we know so far, basically any mask will lower the risk of how much you inhale. Thank you, Henry. I'm assuming you meant hope, but yeah, I will do. It's just ulcerative colitis. It's a chronic condition that I've got, and it's like one of those things where some days it will be better and worse than other days. Yeah, the main issue for me at the moment, Lays, though, is some of the medication I'm on for ulcerative colitis, the pharmacy can't get in because of, supply line disruptions. Thankfully, it's not my everyday medication. It's kind of like a booster medication. But it's just kind of annoying that, again, because of all the corona stuff, it does impact other health conditions, which some people don't even consider. Because, if pharmacies are overstretched or whatever, or they need to get kind of crucial drugs through the supply lines, some of the more chronic condition drugs, don't get through. Yeah, they should be, Grovesy, but I bet what's going to happen is, or Grovesy, I bet what's going to happen is they're only going to get a slap on the wrist, if that, and then all of us that want to go out to exercise or, go out and be responsible are going to just get more restrictions. Yeah, I like the Czech CM4, Yornan. It's a very good mask for the price point. Right, Bongo Grant, glad you find this stuff interesting. Yeah, that's the problem. RAF Curly everywhere's sold out. Again, you can now and again find like 3M masks and N95s, but sometimes they're very expensive. But even if you can't get a proper mask, if you get like an old pillowcase or something, fold it up and cut it into the shape of like a bandana type thing, it will filter some air. I know it's not ideal, but it's much better than nothing. Yeah, it's just because this is the storage room, some random dude for all the militaria. It's quite messy in all honesty, but I do know where everything is, despite it being messy, minus a couple of masks. But no, JT, I don't think the Queen will be taking over in a speech. I think she's going to say, you know, people need to be responsible, and it's kind of going to be a motivational talk. But I'll watch it and say, no, I'm going to go off at 5 to 8 so I can watch the speech. Michael says, are P3 filters on combined filters like ABEC P3 filters as effective as only P3 filters? They're actually slightly more effective, since only P3 filters seem to be thicker compared to some combined filters. No, they should be more effective. The particulate bit might be a bit smaller, but that won't make much of a difference. But because there's charcoal and other materials behind it, that is going to have some filtration ability as well. I don't actually know Henry, one of my interwar masks, but the problem is with a lot of the like masks from the 1930s, because they're so old and they're not in perfect condition, my ones, the date stamps are all sort of worn off. So I know they're from the 1930s, but I don't know which of them would be my oldest one in all honesty. I don't sell any masks, RAF Curly. What country are you in? Because if you say where you are, some people might know of any places that have them in stock. Peter says, is it good and healthy to buy gas masks now? I saw a special Romanian 85 or hood for €15. That's an excellent price. Get that. But it's always a good idea to get a mask just as something to have, you know, laying around just for DIY work. And, you know, they will come in handy now and again. No, what's that? 420 priest? You have to give me a bit of info. I've never heard of this. I've got a Stowhound, but it's quite rusty and it's not in this room. But yeah. In the US, you'd have to ask them the Americans are on, because I would have no idea what's in stock on certain US places. If you want a place that's got masks in, if you go on Sportsman Guide, let me link you just a second. They sell masks on there. The best mask they've got in for the price at the moment is this one. Let me link you. If I was in the US, I'd order one of these because I don't have an Italian M90 and I sort of want one, but there you go. Sportsman Guide are good, but again, I'm not in the US, so yeah, if they come with the original filter, Ben Newman, they've got the asbestos filter, as in like the green sort of, you know, filter. If you mean, do I wear gas masks outside of me? I wear at least a half face respirator when I'm out and about. It depends what I'm doing, but if I'm going into a place where it's going to be busy-ish, you know, and there's a lot of people, I will wear a full face mask. It will really depend how it seals to your face, Porphy. You're meant to be completely clean shaven. You can have a moustache as long as it doesn't get past this point, because that's where it could break the seal, because most half face masks seal like that. So you're meant to be completely clean shaven in terms of beard. But again, I found, and a lot of people have found with certain masks, you know, as long as you've not got too much stubble, they will still seal fine. Yeah, I'd always go for something, hello Shrimp Zoo, and I'd always go for something better than N95 personally. But yeah, I think there are still masks around, but you just have to, you know, shop around a bit more now because they've just sold out in so many places. Right, let me Google that then, Bongo Grant. Don't think I've ever bought from them before. Where do they have a website? Because there's a couple of different things come up. Some are like cash and carries. All right, let me Google that 420 priest, because it does sound like it could be a serious thing. But I mean, I know at the moment pretty much every country is in. So it's the emergency coronavirus bill. Let's have a read of it. Right, this is a massively long thing, so I'm going to have to find a TLDR version of it. But yeah, here's the thing regarding that. I haven't read the bill, so I don't know if it's dangerous or not. The thing is, I know a lot of people don't like these bills that restrict their liberties. But at the moment, if you let people go out and do what they want, they will kill you or kill other people, with a deadly disease. So the big worry is whether or not our rights come back as they were when the coronavirus threat is over. And again, like a lot of people, I think that could be a worrying thing. But at the moment, if you said you should oppose all basically governmental or police powers regarding coronavirus, I would say no, just because, there are people who will kill other people through their own stupidity. All right, Tumbo? Goon says, I bought a GP5 in December. Its XL valve is slightly ajar when at rest. Would this be a problem? No, it won't be a problem because there's 2 XL valves in a GP5. If you look at the one above me, see the bottom XL valve cover is there where my finger is. The other one's in the mask about there. So if the bottom one's droopy, that generally happens over time just because of gravity. The other XL valve should still be fine. Shrimp Zoo said, hospital Naples in Italy started using gas masks. They have 0% infection rate amongst healthcare workers. Yep. I saw that. They've basically got NBC suits on, haven't they, and proper gas masks. And again, yeah, they're going overkill with the protection, and then it's protecting them rather than using the bare minimum, and then finding it's not good enough. What do you mean by to be an administrator, Henry? The mods on here are just people I know and trust. Mostly eBay bongo grant for all the surplus I get. Yeah, I imagine they don't think you're paranoid anymore, do they, AK-74 guy? Yeah, now they're asking exactly where they can buy one. I know a lot of people who said they reckoned I used to be a gimp because I had gas masks, and now they're not taking that attitude. I don't sell FP5 filters. You can sometimes still buy them on eBay, but I don't know. A lot of places are making masks mandatory or advisable now, and that is a good step because it does cut down the rate of transmission. Yep, Snowy, you can take the voice diaphragm, though, out if you want to do that before cleaning it, just by unscrewing the little nose bit and then pulling it out. Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? Because this is the thing I was sort of on about Flazzy and Welsh Arrow, is that this is the annoying thing, is people doing stupid stuff makes it worse for everybody who is obeying the rules. Like, here's the thing. I'm going a bit stir crazy, and some of my mates are going a bit stir crazy because we've all been sat at home, not doing much, not being able to visit each other because we're following all the guidelines. And then you've got all the idiots breaking the guidelines, making everything more restrictive because they just simply can't follow the rules. All right, 420 Priest, I'll check it out after this stream if I remember. Annoyingly, I can't click on your thing and go to your channel anymore. YouTube disabled that. Henry, because I've not seen you on the streams long enough, I'm afraid you can't be, but, there's lots of places you can find GP5s online. They're not exactly hard to find. Yeah, Mob, it's because the Queen's doing a thing at 8, so rather than me being on at 8 today, I'm on at 7, so I can go off just before 8. So I can watch whatever the Queen has to say. I mean, Shrimp, that's better than nothing, but again, it's not as good as a proper respirator, is it? But I think any degree at people putting cloths over their face will cut down transmission to some degree, so it's all better than nothing. I mean, any kind of tea towel or anything in front of your face does cut down the rate of transmission because it makes it harder to, projectily sneeze or cough over people, or, it does catch some of the particulates in the air. Well, I mean, yeah, exactly, MC. If it doesn't overwhelm medical services, that's still a good thing. Again, this is such a transmissible disease, which we knew back in January. If you looked at the R0 that was, being suspected from how it was spreading in China, everybody knew it was really, really contagious, yet lots of people still kept going, it's just a flu, when it obviously wasn't. No, I didn't, but was this the same US Surgeon General that was telling people to not buy gas masks a while ago, or not buy N95 masks? So that guy's a bit of an idiot, isn't it? Because he couldn't just be honest to people and say, look, the doctors need them. Yeah, don't forget to like the stream. Thank you, Enzo. Yeah, if you find the visors for sale, Ben Newman, on eBay, you can put the visors on the Mark 6 and Mark 6A. You might need to get the visor attachment bits, though, because they won't go on the helmet normally. you need to get the bits that are like the swivel bits for them. That's what I thought you meant, young rail enthusiast. Well, I've said that a lot of times on here, Speed Square, only buy essentials and all that, but here's the problem. Me telling people to do it online, I think I'm preaching to the choir a bit here, in all honesty, because the people who watch my videos, I think, are generally pretty sensible people that have got their head switched on. You know, because these were the same people interested in the, you know, stuff that was, you know, antibacterial or antiviral or whatever, you know, like cleaning products and masks back in January sort of time. So I think these people know what they're doing. Yeah, that's why I'm on now, Tesco Propaganda Mystery, and not on later. You're not too late, Jinx. 8 p.m, so I'm going off about 5 to 8, so I can make sure I've got the TV on ready and all that. In all honesty, I think what she's going to say is for people to be sensible and like thoughts and prayers with the NHS and all that, but, you know, I'll still watch it. It's the Queen. I like the Queen more than politicians. Well, I don't know what the Queen's going to say yet because she's not been on. I think you can read on news sites what the outline of it's going to be, but yeah, Blake. But I mean, as grim as that sounds, that's sensible. If you don't have enough ventilators, they should be kept for the people who have a better survival chance. Yeah, they think Shrimp Zoo, don't they, now that it goes really, really far in the air, and that obviously it can linger for up to 3 days in certain environments, like floating around in the air. Well, unless you tell me what type of model it is, Peter, I don't know what Geiger counter it is, so I can't tell you. For example, this is a little old retro Geiger, but this can't detect very high levels of radiation. It maxes out at just over like 1 microsievert. But yeah. Ian said the Queen's going to be in a hazmat suit broadcasting from the dungeon of her castle. You'd hope so, AK-74 guy, but it's already in a lot of Southern Hemisphere countries and it's not really stopping it, so I don't think we're going to have much luck in that regard. It might live less of a time outside, but the problem is if there's still idiots, you know, going out and breaking all the rules that they're meant to follow. If you've watched any videos on my channel, you'd know that I do conquer. I hope it's not Prince Andrew's dungeon, Karama. I mean, I don't think any of us would be too upset, would we, if Prince Andrew got corona and became very ill? Half crazy old Christian redneck veteran said, "Thanks for your show, brother. Enjoy your company. Love the old Martini Henry got shells." Right, I'll be very careful what I say on here because I'm not sure of the legality. If you saw the video I did the other day, you'll see that I did buy some cartridges for it. I'm not sure if they're inert or not, and I'm not going to load them and test them because then I'd potentially be breaking the law because, you know, I've not got it registered as a firearm. So although I can legally own it and that, I can't, you know, if I go to shoot it, that would be illegal. What I've got on order, though, is some plastic dummy rounds so I can load them and eject them. So it's a no-name Romanian Cold War Geiger. Let me look at Romanian Cold War Geigers because I've never actually seen any really Romanian ones before. What? Let's have a look. I'm just trying to see things of actual Romanian ones. So there's one that looks like a weird rectangle thing. That's cool. One of the things. That's very steampunk. I want one of them. What's the other video? One that look. Oh, this is a really interesting one. I don't know what model it is. It says Russian Romanian made Geiger, but it looks a lot like a. This is really interesting. It's like a weird combination between a DP5 and the DP63, where it's like a DP5 scale, but it's in like a DP63 type cabinet. Does this have a wand, or is it oh, it does have a wand, so it is a lot more like a DP63. That's not a pocket one, is it? I'm just having a look to see if I can find out what the name of that Romanian one is. Yeah, well, now I'm Google imaging it. I can barely find any Romanian ones. The only one I found is one that says Romanian Geiger counter 1972, which is a lovely retro-looking thing. But again, I don't know if that's the one you've got or not. Oh, thank you, John Townley. He says, do you think people still keep taking the piss and then will stop us going out full stop? Sadly, probably. Like, this is how nearly all, like, kind of bans and restrictions happen. If you've got most people that are sensible and follow the rules, then you'll get some idiots that keep violating the rules, and then we all get fucked because of it. And sadly, I think that's what's going to happen here. Just like we lost lots of firearms rights in the UK because of twats that, you know, shot up schools and things like that, even though they were in the complete minority of gun owners who were perfectly legal and, you know, polite. I think this is going to be a similar thing with this. You're going to get people who keep breaking the rules we've got that let you go out to do basic things. And then we're going to get more and more restricted to maybe having to have online deliveries, not being able to go out and exercise and all that, you know, just because there's some people that can't follow the rules. And that's even at governmental level, because there wasn't there the Scottish health minister decided to keep going out for jollies, even though, you know, she was telling people on the news not to go out unless she really had to. All right, don't forget to like the stream, everybody, because it'd probably be easier survive to wash your scalp and keep if you got any of the shit in your hair. Cheers, Laser, again. He said, I've seen lots of people go boating over here. Like, the thing of people going out and about, I think if they're going out and about in a way where they're at very low risk of infecting other people, I don't mind it so much. But where everybody just keeps going into parks and shit like that when they're told not to, that's really taking the piss, you know. I'm just going to block that person. Don't bother timing out. If he's calling people homosexual as an insult, we don't want him on this channel. And I'm also blocking the person that's comparing people going out in the, you know, people breaking quarantine to being the persecuted Jews and other people in the Holocaust. What sort of fucking idiot are you? Just to go on off topic, if you think people going out when they've been told not to enjoy the sun is the same people that were literally genocided because of their race or religion. Some of the people you get in these comments are so fucking stupid. I'm surprised that they actually can breathe oxygen, but you know. Yeah, exactly. I'd agree some random dude. Oh, I've got rid of him, Eltrix, but no, Sean, it would work absolutely fine because it's a good old-fashioned steel gun. They could be, Tyler, but a lot of the time I think it is just genuine idiots. Yeah, no worry, Eltrix. I mean, I also mod on here if I can keep up the comments, but sometimes you do just see people in the comments that you are really surprised. Which stream did you donate on, Henry? But you don't have a Discord. I'd have to go back and check it. But generally, I don't have any mods on Henry because the problem is people can go and delete comments on random videos if they're a mod. That's all right, Mike. Yeah, it's like you say, AK-74 guy. It's somewhere between droplets and airborne, isn't it? So yeah, it's like if you think about a droplet transmission, but it spreads far easier. Yeah, it's not going to travel miles in the wind, but it is much worse than just the flu or a cold of people sneezing and coughing into tissues. I don't know Basingstoke, Dave. It can probably travel a while, but I don't think it's going to be super transmissible like that. That's what people are saying. It's not as bad as measles, but... Oh, that's interesting. Turfisk. Rusty Shackelford said, when London cancelled Gay Pride, I knew it was serious. Yeah, I feel bad for the Italians. I feel bad for the Spanish. But what you're going to have to realise is most countries will be in that stage soon if they didn't do enough early on. The Israeli M15, yeah, that's a very good mask. No, it's quite flexible, Peter, the rubber on the Israeli masks. The civilian ones are thinner rubber than the military ones, but yeah, they're not all that rigid. It depends. I think, Sam, if an air conditioner has a HEPA filter in it, or a HEPA and like a UV light inside, it'd be absolutely fine. But yeah, if it's just something that recirculates air, that would definitely spread it. No, 650 is a good price one if it's in good condition. Mine was about 700 Tesco. On a lot of sites, they seem to be 800 to 900 if they're perfect condition. If they've got a bit of surface rust or chips to the wood, that's when they're like, 600 to 700 sort of price range. Well, Thomas, anything that protects you is better than nothing. So if you're saying compared to not wearing them, they still give you more protection than wearing nothing. Most people super HEC are very stupid if they shame you for literally going to the stage of trying to slow down transmission. When everything goes to complete shit, I imagine, Karama, I'll have to put this hat on with it and a gas mask. And then, when you say a Brina gun, do you mean a Bren gun? I don't know. Bren guns would be a lot, and sadly, you're not going to be able to get them fully automatic still in the UK because because of our laws now. But Smoothie Punch says I'm a band. Evidently not, because you made a comment. The Queen's speech isn't on till 8. That's why I'm going off before their mass and preps. If it fits him all right and works, Compot Boss, why not? But I've been using both my what's it called? The one with the P3 filters, but it's quite compact, the GVS Ellipse. I've also been wearing my, what's the other name of the other one? The Alpha Mesh, because it makes a very good face seal and it's light. Yeah, if it's on Sky News Live, which I imagine it will be, Tesco Propaganda Ministry, I'll just put that on because you can watch it through YouTube, so I don't actually have to switch the AV on the TV, and go on to whatever the channel number is. I can just watch it straight through a YouTube stream. Yeah, I've got one, Bushcraft. But the problem is on some meters you won't be able to do that just because they'd require you to have like 5 of them. And I have quite an expensive variable voltage thing, and it only goes up to, I think, 70 volts, where some of the old Geigers and literally need things like 150 volt batteries that are like almost like, the size of car batteries. Because, yeah, some of the obsolete old Geigers took like 5 different types of batteries. So it's just impractical trying to power them. Thank you, LMD. He says, wore JSP half mask and shades today shopping in Helsinki. Witnessed some sniggering and laughter. Is that still in the UK? In the UK, or has the attitude changed? The attitude is changing. It's not completely gone away yet like that, but good on you for wearing a mask. But when I went shopping the other day for essentials, this was like 2 weeks after last time I've been shopping, a lot more people with proper masks on and even more people doing stuff like that. So there's far less people, really bother, noticing if you've got a mask on or not, in the sense that a lot of people are wearing them. Whereas when I was out like a couple of weeks ago with the mask, there was some idiot, going up, look at the stupid people with their gas mask on. It's just a flu. All right, glad you like the videos, Bongo. No, JT, I think they'll arm the traffic wardens, unfortunately. Yeah, JSP 48's a very good mask for degree witch explorers, or explorers, sorry. No, I think you'll be fine, young rail enthusiast. If people get funny over it, it's them being stupid, not you. Because if you're being a responsible one, and other people are having a go at you for literally, lowering the risk of infection to yourself and other people, they are the people being stupid. Just do not care. Hello, Dapvic. Thank you very much. Sign petition to auto pass student stressful. What's this about? Right, stricter rules, Devil Knob. As in, what's going on at the moment is we in the UK have restrictions on like what you can go out and do, to lower the rate of transmission, stuff like that. And at the moment, because people keep violating it, the government's thinking it's going to have to up the rules. As in, you can't go out to do exercise because all the people who say they're going out to exercise and then just sit about or meet up with other people in public. Very much could do Darfax. I said, unfortunately, I thought that could happen. I still had people calling me a tinfoil hat retard for suggesting it. Yeah, I'd agree. Some of those people are probably just very sour grapes, aren't they? That they didn't bother getting a mask when they could do. Because if you see all the attitudes of people online who are like, don't get a mask, and are now advising people to get masks, it shows it's that sort of attitude, doesn't it? Right, speaking of Truth Media Live, I'm doing all right, thank you. I mean, I was a bit ill last night, but that was just ulcerative colitis, so it's stuff that's sometimes good for me and sometimes plays up. But for me, the weekend now is no different than any other day during the week, because both the charity volunteering work I do and my weekend job, I'm told not to go into either because of all the restrictions put on travel and that. So at the moment, it doesn't matter. Every day is the same for me, essentially, other than what chores I end up doing around the house on that day. Every day is pretty much get up when I feel like it, do some jobs around the house, get some YouTube stuff done. That's it. And thank you, Tenny Army Barbie. He says new filters. What, did you order your new filters? Or yeah, here's the problem, Signo. It's annoying for us that follow the rules, isn't it? I think they should just throw the book at people that keep breaking the rules, give them very hefty fines or potentially imprison them. But I suppose then you can't imprison people at the moment because they're actually releasing prisoners because of how bad prisons are turning into, like, basically infection hotspots. That's all right, Sal. Like I said, I was just, because the thing is, I've advised people for ages just to have masks laying about for everyday use. Because a lot of the time, I just end up using masks if I'm working with stuff that can give you a headache, like chemicals that give you a headache if you inhale them, like painting type thing or paint strippers, like solvents, or if I'm sanding or grinding anything and stuff like that. So I find they're really handy just to have them laying about. But, then they sometimes do come in very useful. Thank you, Altrix. I think we could have a Great Depression tier recession / depression for 20 Priest, yes. I don't know if I have a worldwide famine, but I definitely think the financial thing is going to change, for the long run in quite a long time. You said that, Tesco, not me, but, I've got a tool to do it now. Yeah, I'd agree, Singh. They definitely need to be checking up on what people are doing, because otherwise you are going to get people who literally keep violating it because, the rule shouldn't apply to me. They're going to take that sort of attitude, aren't they? Yeah, the MM1 does look a bit scary, but, it's still a protective mask. It's protecting you and other people. I've been staying in like I've meant to be doing, speaking of Truth Media Live, other than when I did some essential shopping yesterday. But otherwise, it's nice hot weather. It would be nice to go out and about in it, but I've just been sat in anyway. Thank you, Jude. He said, does moisture build up inside ABEC filters? Not if you've got a mask where the exhale valve is separate, not really, unless you're in a really, really humid environment. Because if you've got a mask with an intake and exhale valve, your exhaled air goes out the exhale valve, not through the intake valve. So you should be all right in that regard. So the answer would basically be no. I've not seen really any masks where you exhale through the filter port. There's one or two I've seen, that's just because they're cheap, crappy masks that weren't designed very well. But 99% of the masks you would ever find for sale aren't going to be like that. And thank you, Sakuraba. He said, should earplugs be used against coronavirus? I've heard no evidence of it getting in through your ears, But I think the easier thing, rather than using earplugs, would be anything with a hood. Just pull that up with a mask, because you can just do that, can't you? With either a raincoat or a hoodie type thing. Yeah, there certainly is, unfortunately, vapor. But again, I don't think that person's going to be laughing if he's coughing his lungs out, struggling to breathe in a week, is he? They might laugh today, but I think you'll be laughing tomorrow. Not that I wish harm on anybody, but the people who take the piss out of people wearing protective clothing are just fucking idiots. Right, Dwarven Miner, he said, no odd looks from my M10M today, good luck. And that's good, but like I said, I think the attitude is slowly changing because more and more sensible people are wearing masks. Rusty, thank you very much. He said the US government finally backtracked on their masks don't work disinformation here. Yep. Went from 1% wearing them to half overnight propaganda kills. Yep. That's what I was saying earlier. The CDC Surgeon General, whatever he was, wasn't he, the other day? US Surgeon General, like a week or two ago, was going, stop buying masks, they don't work. And now they're recommending people to wear masks. So again, like we said, it's fucking obvious masks work just because of the science of what a filtered mask does if you're breathing through it. These masks wouldn't exist for the military and people in industries if they didn't protect you from inhaling airborne threats. Maybe they will be, JT, who knows? Depends how threads we go. I've not seen any of your questions, Delargado, so ask it again. YouTube might be hiding it. Oh, and thank you, Altrix, for the donation again earlier, if I didn't say thank you. But bear in mind there's certain keywords that YouTube just shadow bans you saying. So if you're posting a comment and nobody's replying to it, it could just be very much that. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Basingstoke Dave. That's the thing, is that if you're wearing a mask, you're slowing the rate of transmission, so it's good for everybody. Speaking of Truth says, we are struggling to find Easter eggs at the minute for delivery because my mother doesn't want to go out because she hasn't got PPE. Don't know how I'm going to cope with the kids. Yeah, weren't they getting funny, the police, at people buying Easter eggs like a week ago as well? Like, oh, it's not an essential thing to go out and buy an Easter egg, even though it was just people buying them with their regular essential shopping. Funnily enough, my mum goes to Tesco's every week to shop for my grandparents, Vanessa, and she wears a mask I gave her because my mum's living with my grandparents at the moment, so there's less infection risk of her going like here and then driving to their house. And the security guard in Tesco's asked her where he could get a mask like that, and she says, I don't know because my son gave it me. But I think some people, even like security guards and that, actually want masks. No suggestion, Dwarven Miner. It's a bit depressing, isn't it? If you haven't seen The War Game, watch The War Game as well. Not War Games, but The War Game, which is like an old black and white film that Fred's is kind of a spiritual successor to. Other than my UC playing up a bit, Rajiv, I'm all right, thank you. And Tanyami Barbie says, do new one make a sound when you open them like the older GP5 ones? What filters do you mean? Generally, yes. If they've been vacuum sealed and all that, when you open them, they hiss. But again, it really depends on the filters. Some do, some don't. But yeah, if they've been vacuum sealed, which is a really good thing for people to do with filters, when you open them, they kind of make a weird hissing noise. Because, yeah, obviously the air, it's kind of like reverse pressure, isn't it, when they get opened? Oh, so you've got money but can't use it, AK-74 guy. That's annoying, JT. I'm too old for school. I just do YouTube stuff. Yeah, see, you're being sensible, Sing. That's not really my field of expertise, preserving food, but I'm sure there's a lot of channels, like related channels, that have done things on vacuum bagging food and all that. All I'd say is just keep food that you can food rotate in your cupboard, like canned goods, rice, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, and a few other people, Eltrix, not just you. But I appreciate anybody. There was a thing on the news earlier, Rajiv, though, with on BBC saying that restrictions might tighten, because my dad was very annoyed about that, because he likes going out for his walk. Let's see if it... Coronavirus public urge to follow mission critical rules. I thought they said something on there about it. Mr. Hancock said the government was not planning any changes imminently to social distancing policies, but could not rule out further steps. Yeah, so they're doing that thing like they've done several times, saying, oh, we probably won't have to go to this. And then like 2 days later, they do it, Like we wouldn't have to close businesses. We wouldn't have to have a lockdown. They still did all that stuff, didn't they? So what about Altrix, that guy who did like $300 on one stream? But I appreciate everybody. If people want to have donation wars to try to outbid each other, they can certainly do that. I would not mind. But as said, people should, in all honesty, if they've got to buy stuff for themselves or they want to donate it to charity, do that with it. It's a more sensible thing than giving it to me. But I do really appreciate it. Thank you, Andrew. He said, would you ever want to trade masks with anyone? If I knew him in real life and all that, and it was easy enough thing to do, but if it was posting a mask and having to hope the other person posts the one at their end, not really. But at the moment, as I've said, I've mostly been trying to get rid of a lot of masks because, they take up a lot of space. And if at the moment I can give them to people where it might save lives or cut down the rate of infection, I'd rather do that. I've given a few masks away to friends, given a few masks away to family members. If my local pharmacy or doctors or anything like that would take the masks from me, I'd give them. But sadly, as much as NHS staff don't have enough PPE at the moment, there seems to be very little infrastructure in place to donate stuff to them. Like where a better protective CBRN mask they wouldn't take because it's not like a very standard surgical mask they'd normally use. It's that kind of bullshit, I'm afraid I don't know, Wojciech. I was just lucky years ago to get a CT12 when I just saw one on there. I don't think they turn up all that often though, I'm afraid, so it's probably a case you'd have to look frequently and hope one turns up for a good amount of money. Oh, thank you, Laser. I didn't know that. So yeah, Laser. What Laser said, Henry? When you've donated, if you want to check the day, he said you should have got an email from YouTube giving you a receipt for it, so then you can tell me what day it is. I can go back on the stream and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, he's been doing it for a very long time, right? So yeah, Laser's quite high on there. I really don't know, Rajiv, because there's so much contradictions where it's guidelines, but then the police can enforce them, arrest you, or fine you. So surely that is a law, isn't it? There's not much point me doing a giveaway, speaking the truth, because the problem is if you do giveaways, and this isn't me trying to be greedy and hoarding stuff, a lot of people just subscribe for the giveaways, and a lot of channels have said that have done giveaways. They wish they hadn't done it just simply because they had a massive amount of inactive subscribers who would sub just for stuff. But the thing is, I'm just giving stuff away in real life, in a sense, to people that need it. If that makes sense. Too Dumb to Die says, I'll be taking my MP5 to work tomorrow. The stocks were running low last week. Hope it doesn't scare my patients. I doubt it will scare them. Just say if you've got it on, it's for everybody's protection. Yeah, I could suppose I could do it through Discord Infinity. That's a good idea. Yeah, Discord only giveaway. That might be a good way of doing it. And Altrick says no giveaway. Stop asking. Right. I was just gonna have a look if there was anything more about the Queen's thing, but it's 8 PM, isn't it? Does it say in the BBC thing what she might be saying? She's going to tell us to be calm and determined. Let's have a look at today's figures. They're going to be pretty grim. I'll warn you that in advance. USA is up 17,000 cases, 913 deaths. Spain is up 4,500 cases, 471 deaths. Italy up 525 deaths. Germany up 106 deaths. Iran up 151, but we know they're higher than that. UK is up 621. The UK seems to be having some of the worst death rates, doesn't it, in all of the world at the moment, comparative to the number of cases we're getting. According to Worldometers, our where's the thing? Oh, have they taken the thing off that showed recovery versus deaths? For fuck's sake, have they done that because they were getting in trouble from countries going, well, it's not fair that you show how well we're doing compared to other countries? But yeah, the UK has only had 135 people recover so far, but 4,934 deaths. And a big chunk of those recovered people was at the very beginning, before we had a big outbreak of cases, where you get a few people at a time get it and then recover. If you donate, Bruce Lee, you can join. If you've donated, tell me when you did it. But yeah, let me sort number of countries by total deaths. Yeah, UK is now 1, 2, 3, 4. UK is now 5th on total deaths, even though we've got barely any cases compared to some of these other countries. Italy has got like 3 times as many cases as us and about 3 times as many deaths, so that makes sense. But, some of the other countries have twice as many cases as us, but only about a third more deaths. Paul Stimpson said, appreciate your knowledge on equipment. Thank you very much. I appreciate the donation. But yeah, I just like sharing info just because it's a bit of a hobby, but I'm glad it helps people at the moment. To be honest, shrimps, I think China probably is number 1, but they just lie about their figures, whereas America doesn't, or America is at least more honest. Right, cheers, Bruce Lee. Literally $1, £1, whatever. It's just more of a thing, so people that have donated don't feel pissed off I let people in for free. So that's in about a week time, is it? Yeah, April 12th will be in about a week. No, Altrix, they don't need to donate $10. Yeah, I've seen a lot of footage like that. I saw a lot of footage like that back in January, which was why I was saying early on this could be very serious. When people go, no, it's just the flu. Charles says, I really hope the COVID doesn't become a normal seasonal flu type thing. Yeah, that'd be awful if we get something this bad that comes around every, one time every year. Do you know what day it was, Henry? But again, you need to make a Discord if you've not got a Discord. I don't have a mortgage. That would work on some of the masks, Tesco. So say you got like a British Mark 5 or Mark 4 respirator. But yeah, do you have a Discord, Henry? Because Altric says he knows Henry donated. So if you've got a Discord, just post your ID. But yeah, going back to the thing about the World War II masks, say you've got like a Mark 4 or Mark 5 GSR. If you undo the wire where the hose or the filter attaches to the mask, then rewire, tape a new filter on, it would work, yes. Hard to say, JT. I find a size 3, I think it is, CM4 fits me pretty well. So I need a slightly bigger size CM4 than some of the other masks I've used, but not by much. That's certainly worth €50, Johnny. I did a review recently where I recommended the Furnez. Somebody whose name I can't pronounce, is it Corky Cat, says, the missus and myself both wear 3M6200 masks with 6038 filters. Both are P3. How often should we have to change the filters we use every day? You won't need to change them because those filters will only really stop working when they get so clogged with dust and stuff you can't breathe through them. So for actually just everyday use, you won't need to change the filters, especially if you're using the plastic encased filters. Let me think, Purple Spy. I gave Weapon Collector a Spassiani TR2002, and he can use that with his beard. So, yeah, Spassiani might be all right. JT said, cheers, already bought it for £21, last size available, so hoping it will squeeze on. Which one was that, JT, sorry? Oh, look, CM4. Yeah, hopefully it will fit. At least it's got adjustable straps, so there's that. Although the only problem I find with it is if you get a size that's too big with a CM4, you can't get a good face seal even if you really tighten the straps because its peripheral seal's quite small. Right, Henry, I'll make you a moderator for now. Don't disappoint me. But yeah, if you just want to be a good moderator, Henry, just if people's comments get hidden as spam and they're being polite and just asking questions, show them. If they keep spamming something, time them out. If they're being on purposely offensive to people, block them. There you go, Henry. And there's already a person that's been blocked because he's a fucking idiot who thinks this disease isn't real. Literally just moderate comments, Vanessa, as in approve comments that get hidden as spam. I know they're all going up Bushcraft Master, but sadly that's just what happens when there's a massive demand on something that normally isn't, has a supply demand catered for a much lower level. Yeah, what Tesco says, power tripping, yeah, that's one thing. Yeah. You can keep an eye on him, Laser. It's more than 600 people dying a day, isn't it, across the world? Let's have a look. Today alone, there has been 3,599 deaths recorded, and that's with still a lot of countries not reporting in or not knowing the full extent of the cases they've got. Let me look up that one. I don't recognise the name of that. 3MHF 800 voice diaphragm half face respirator, but let me look it up. Oh, that looks good. I've never seen that one before, but it looks like it's a much better version of some of the other 3M masks. If you can find one in stock somewhere, I'd recommend it. But yeah, it's cool that 3M are doing half face masks with diaphragms now. That looks very sci-fi. I will get one at some point when there's not a massive demand on masks. So I can, wear it with the goggles and it'll look really cool. These goggles. But yeah, I'd never seen those before, but they do look good. Or if China doesn't do anything about wet market shrimp zoo, I'm sure that and lots of other horrible diseases will keep coming about. Late production Model S10s, Tyler, used to be about £50 to £100. Now they're probably way over that. It's hard to say at the moment because masks keep changing in price so rapidly at the moment because of the massive demand on them. Yeah, exactly, Jason. If more people were being tested, the death rate would go down, at least as a percentage. But also, the NHS was under strain before all this happened. So it's no surprise that, countries with really, really well-funded medical systems are falling apart. We're going to be in a disastrous state, especially because doctors can't even get PPE over here. Yeah, I recommended Sportsman Guide earlier, Red Dawn, but yeah, Sportsman Guide is good, but they're nearly out of stock at the moment. Well, Shrimp Zoo, as we've been saying, I think if this gets into very poor countries, like it probably already is, it's going to be disastrous just because it's going to be, a disease on top of all the other diseases they have with, not much vaccination, not much medical care, bad diets. Yeah, I've seen that with a lot of things, Tesco, that lots of sellers are putting their masks up, just for the same masks that they always sell. They're just going up and up week on week. It was annoying because a couple of weeks ago, some masks were going back down in price again, but now they seem to be skyrocketing again. Olive Vine says, wore my M110 to the supermarket for a few essentials yesterday. No one batted an eyelid. Can I join Discord? Certainly can. Let me invite you. And thank you for asking when you did your donation rather than saying I donated like a week ago. And can I have an invite? But I can't remember what stream I donated on. But let me add you now. Right, sent you a friend's request. Well done for getting your name right. As soon as you accept that, let me invite you. Oh, you've accepted it straight away. Thank you. Actually, can you just send me a PM on Discord so I can just invite you from the PM? Person with a picture of a bandit says something I don't understand. Cheeky breaky? Right, thank you, Olive. There you go. Done. Right, I'll be off in about 4 minutes so everybody can tune into the Queen who's in the UK. I don't know if any of the people in other countries can find a Queen talking online. Arthur Blaine says, aye, thank you very much. JT said loads of GP5s going for £10 to £15 on eBay. Only issue is getting safe filters for them. But personally, if somebody said to me, as long as you could get a GP5 with a filter that was in good condition for that sort of price, and you couldn't find anything else, you know, I would still rather wear a GP5 filter than risk inhaling Corona, in all honesty. Just because, you know, if you did inhale any asbestos from a GP5, it would be a very small amount of damage done, you know, the longer and longer you breathe through the filter. Whereas if you get Corona, it's killing people that are perfectly healthy, you know, in their teens and 20s and 30s, potentially. So, you know, I would risk asbestos exposure over coronavirus. Well, I think how bad things actually are, Altrix, wearing a GP5 filter, all things considered, as much as I wouldn't really advise it, you know, in any other time, you know. But if you could get a GP7 filter to put on the GP5, I'd trust that a bit more just because it's got a better particulate layer at the top, or a Polish MS4 filter, or one of the Czech filters, you know. Why did you time out Tesco? What did he do? What he said is true, though. They do. Can I untime him out? I can't untime him out. But yes, what Tesco said is correct. Scott Pro filters do work on GP5s. I keep forgetting that because they're DIN threaded. And lots of people have tested that now and come back to confirm they do work. It wasn't me who timed you out, Rajiv. Yeah, exactly. Corona death now or potential lung cancer in 40 years. I'd take the lung cancer in 40 years' time. Because you never know, in 40 years' time, they might have amazingly good treatments for cancer. Yeah, in regards to chromium in filters, Chad Foreman, as much as chromium is poisonous, the amount of chromium in an impregnated filter is very, very, very small. So there has been studies done on this, and they found you'd have to keep literally switching to more and more leaking filters, you know, and breathing them through them for like an hour a day, every day, for years and years and years before the chromium buildup would be enough to cause a risk. Because when people get poisoned by chromium, that's in much more significant amounts, you know, in like vapor form or whatever, not a tiny, tiny, tiny bit in powder mixed in with other things. Ghost, aka Clue, says, hello, hello, hello. Oi, mate, you got a walking license there? No, I've not. Rance XXXX says, what's your opinion on cloth face masks? Do they work just as fine, or would I rather run? Right, they're not going to be as good as even N95 masks, Rance, but they're certainly better than nothing. When it comes to protection, anything over your nose and mouth is going to offer some filtration ability and cut down the amount you exhale germs onto other people. So yes, as much as an N95, you know, a FFP3 or whatever they call them, you know, proper masks are always a better choice. If you had no other option, literally wrapping cloth or a bandana around your face is better than nothing. Yeah, I know the Queen's on in 5 minutes, which is why I'm going off. So thank you, everybody. It's been a good stream tonight. We had a few weird, rude people on, but for the most part, everybody's been good. But yes, thank you, everybody. I'll probably stream again tomorrow because I'm streaming pretty much every day at the moment to keep me sane and hopefully keep you sane. I don't know what time I'll be on. I want to stream again at a different point on one of the days for people in different time zones. But all right, Laser, question for you. In Australia, if I was going to stream, what's a good time for Australians? Because the Australians actually argue when I stream if it's a good time or not. So if you're still on, Laser, if I went off British summertime, what would be a good time to stream for Australians and people like in Hong Kong, you know, Japan, that sort of time zone? Like probably before midday, would it be? Lunchtime. So yeah, like 11, 12 p.m. sort of time, 11 a.m. Right, okay, he says, no idea, mate. I'll probably try and do one if I'm up early enough and not got other jobs to do in the morning, probably 10 a.m., 11 a.m. sort of time. But yeah, sometimes people say, even when other people have said this is good for our time zone, they say, why are you streaming this late or this early? Right, anyway, see you all. Goodbye. Stay safe, everybody. That's the most important thing.